Oh well, it's like the way, folks. Sometimes this shit happens. Tuesday night, enjoyable. Took a look a moment ago. You get this late at night. They're doing the Sugar Bowl. Who gives a shit about that? I just need this stuff for other reasons. So I flipped through the dial, hit the MLB network. They're doing Hot Stove, basically the rebroadcast of Hot Stove, and I was reading the crawl at the bottom to be sure of what I was reading, which was and is. I kept saying all along the Nationals needed to find a first baseman. Turns out they did. Uh, Adam Laroche, they signed him for 2 years. Didn't say how much, but it says 2 years. Which I actually agree with this because at least now it's 2 years that it's going to give Chris Barrero, who's been sitting there in Harrisburg, Double A for like, well, almost 2 years, at least at the Double A level, and he's been sitting there in the minor leagues really for like 5, 6 years. You know, he was supposed to be the heir apparent to Nick Johnson at first base, but problem is he's been stuck, and as I said, he's there in Double A. God knows what's going to happen this season. I have a feeling he'll just start the year. Hopefully, he'll start the year at Syracuse. I don't know, but I've said all along, if you're gonna be the first baseman for the Nationals, and you've been sitting in the minor leagues for like 6 years, you know this is the shit or get off the pot time. Spring training, I think, is going to show whether Chris Barrero is going to start the year at Syracuse or he gets stuck at Harrisburg. I don't know which. If he's stuck there, all of a sudden you start thinking he may be trade bait to get somebody here. I don't know. I like the guy. You know, I've seen him. I like the guy personally. But at least now, you know, getting back to the Adam Laroche signing, this is 2 years. It's going to give Chris Barrero his last chance to prove that you belong in this organization. So we will see. But at least now we've got a first baseman. You know, we got an outfielder now in Jason Worth and all that. So at least now this is going to be. They won't finish in last place. That I can pretty much say is a guarantee. I'm not the only one who actually might say that. Uh, I actually say that they have a shot, you know, almost a realistic shot at third. This is not a division-winning team, not by any stretch of the imagination. Hell, it's not even a wild card team. But I can tell you now, the way this is shaping up, this is not going to be a last place team. You know, third place is not outside the realm. And as I was saying, I'm not the only one who thinks that. They can go find Mitch Williams or the MLB Network. Whoever thought I'd sit there and agree with the Wild thing, but you know what? He stood there and said the Nationals have this chance, and his opinion is they vault over the Mets. I think he said the Mets and I think he said the Marlins. Vault over the Mets and the Marlins to get third place. I'm like, okay, I agree with the fact you'll vault over the Mets, but you know, I'm thinking they may vault over Atlanta because, you know, they got to reload. You get a new manager there, so and there's no telling what you got. But it may be you vault over the Mets, you vault over the Marlins, and maybe you just might fall over Atlanta and get the second. As I said, this is not a wild card team. I'm not even going to go out and say that. But you could actually say this is the team that may have a 500 record. And even if they don't, it might be a few games under 500. But we're not going to know until the season starts March 31st. I almost said April. No, they start the season March 31st. So anyway. That's really enough. That's my take on Adam LaRoche. We got a first baseman now, so I don't have to. Now what we need to do is just focus on, you know, a few other parts here, there, and everywhere. Next thing from Mike Rizzo, if by some chance you may get this video, and I doubt you do, but if somebody can get this thing forwarded to you, I got 2 words. Carl Pavano, get him here. Do something. You know, show me you're committed to putting a winning effort on the field. Do that for me. Oh well. Okay, what else is new? Caps put on a hell of a game tonight. They were playing Tampa Bay. Whole thing was scoreless for regulation. Lose it in overtime. Basically, Martin St. Louis tapped it a rebound shot, and that was it. You know, we saw all the fun we were having from watching the game Saturday. It kind of brings it down to a sense of reality. But hey, at least Varlamov was playing out of his head tonight. That was good. So, oh God, let's see, what else can I do here? God, I'm having such fun. Oh Lord. Oh, I know what it is. I was trying to think here. Big college story, everybody knows it. They watched it last night. Watched the Orange Bowl with Stanford and Virginia Tech. Stanford just did a number on them. And now everybody speculates on a few things. One, what does Jim Harbaugh do? Does he leave coaching at Stanford and move on to the NFL? Take the job at Michigan, which I'll get to in a moment. Other question, of course, is Andrew Luck. Kid's only a sophomore. I'll say this much, he's pretty decent. But the question is, he's only a sophomore and figures, does he want to turn pro? If he does, I have no idea where he'll go. They say he'd be the first overall pick, which means Carolina would have him. I forgot where I heard it today. It was listed somewhere. I think it was ESPN Radio or something. And everybody's saying, if he does turn pro and Carolina takes him, he'll be running for his life for 2 years because they don't have an offensive line there. I'm more of the opinion that, if by some freak of nature he turns pro and he falls down enough where the Redskins would get him, I got no problem with him. Probably be holding the clipboard for a year or two, but this day and age, you got to think. But again, this is assuming he turns pro. I don't know. I'm not going to venture an opinion on it, but if he stays, he stays. If he goes, okay, fine. Let's get into Michigan. As I said, mentioned this question about Jim Harbaugh in Michigan. Rich Rodriguez gets fired. Now everybody's denying these reports he's fired, but apparently they had a team meeting. They're at Michigan. They decided to have a team meeting. Now you don't have a team meeting first week in January unless you're telling the players, "Hey, we fired our coach." So, the reports are basically, Rich Rodriguez is out. I mean, you would too if you had a losing record and you fucked up the football program at Michigan for the next 5 to 7 years. This is just my take on it. And he's fucked up the football program so bad at Michigan it's going to take him about 5 or 7 years just to get everything straightened out. You never know, but you get surprises all over college football. It's like they had the new coach at Maryland, Randy Edsall, who coached at UConn. Actually took it from really just a startup program at UConn. They didn't even have football like, I think 10 years ago, 10, 12 years ago. They didn't even have football. And he took it all the way from, in rapid order, they went from like Division III to Division II to 1AA in like 5 years' time. Now, of course, it's 1A. And Randy Edsall was the guy responsible for doing that. So here it was, he was coaching, well, I think the Fiesta Bowl was Saturday. And lo and behold, he's done with that game. Somehow, he gets on a chat and they announced he was the new coach in Maryland. And he's like, this is my dream job. Really? I don't know. You never played football. I don't think this guy ever played football, to be honest. Maybe he did. I don't know. But it's like saying, this is my dream job. I said, Maryland is your dream job? no offense. Ralph Friedgen did a decent, he did a damn decent job coaching at Maryland. Even though I root for UVA, but I give props. The guy, Fridge knows what he was doing. The way they fired him is a lot questionable, but stand there and say that this is your dream job, wanting to coach at Maryland is a dream job. I can understand Penn State, I can understand Michigan, Ohio State, I can understand a lot of other places wanting to be your dream job, but Maryland? Well, whatever. I don't know. I'm getting a dry mouth here, folks, so I gotta stop. Find something to do here. Amazing. I finally get to do a video 2 nights running. I'm amazed. Sometimes I amaze myself. So we're done. And as I say, as I always say, we will catch up to you when I feel like making these videos. God knows what I will do. So we will see you whenever I need to get something to dry my mouth. Stop this damn dry mouth I have. So we will see you, and I will catch up whenever. Adios, motherfuckers.